Hi! This is the first home video I've probably ever made, so other than just showing family dinner, which is really boring, but I figured now would be a good time to start making some videos because I'm pregnant, and it would be just a fun way to keep everyone updated on how I'm doing. And also I have a lot of family that doesn't live in Ohio that I didn't get a chance to see over the holidays. So I figured this would be a nice way to keep everyone updated on a very exciting time of my life. Today is December 30th, so 2009, so I'm 14 and a half weeks today, which puts me at a little over 3 months pregnant, and I'm starting to feel better, much better than I was, but I still don't feel that great. So one of the major symptoms that I'm just going to say right now is that I get very out of breath, which I'm already getting out of breath just from talking, so if I'm taking deep breaths, that's why. But I figured since I haven't made a video yet being pregnant, I should probably start from the beginning. I'm thinking I'll probably make one every month so everyone can see how I'm progressing. I found out I was pregnant. I actually got the pregnancy test before I got pregnant because right after I started my new job, I had a really long cycle, like 50 days, and I thought it was very unlikely that I would be pregnant because I thought it was very unlikely. But I got the pregnancy test and it was buy one get one free, and I knew Rob and I agreed we could probably now start trying to have a baby, so I figured even if I had a negative test then I'd have another one that I could use. So, and I wasn't pregnant yet, but I had my other one, so I kept that in the bathroom in case I needed it. And when I was due for my period, I started to feel all crampy. I started to feel just like I would normally do, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna start, and I was like 1 day late, but I'm often late. I mean, as I said, I had a 50-day cycle the time before, so I didn't think anything of the time, but I felt fine on a Saturday, just totally normal. And then Sunday, I woke up and just felt terrible, just terrible. I was like, oh my gosh, actually I felt like I had a really, really bad hangover, which I knew was impossible because I didn't have any alcohol to drink. But I just felt really weak and headachy and just awful. And I felt worse and worse as the day went on. So by the time evening came, I felt jittery on top of feeling tired, and I had a fever, like a low fever. But I have never had a fever in my life that I know of without having illness symptoms. I didn't have a sore throat or stuffy nose or anything, but I had this fever. So I had all the symptoms that go along with the fever. My face felt really hot, and I felt just weak and just awful. And I thought, well, maybe I'm pregnant because when you become pregnant, your progesterone levels rise very high to prevent you from getting a period, and that progesterone gives off heat. So, but I didn't want to take my pregnancy test yet because the tests are more accurate in the morning. And since I wasn't really late for a period yet, I thought I might not get an accurate reading unless I took the test first thing in the morning. So I decided to go to bed, and I had a really strong craving for orange juice, so I must have had a really tall glass of orange juice. And then from like 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, in the morning, or maybe 10:30 to 12:30, I literally had to use the bathroom probably every 10 minutes. And it was awful because I was trying to go to bed and I would lie down and then 5 minutes later be like, oh, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom. So I'd get up and go to the bathroom and then lie down again and be like, okay, now I can sleep. But then 10 minutes later, I'd have to get up and go to the bathroom again. So it was awful. And even since I've known I'm pregnant, I haven't had a night that bad since then. But that was really annoying, and I was like, if I'm not pregnant, something seriously is wrong with me, because I have never felt like this before. Well, and then I had insomnia. I woke up at 3 a.m. and could not go to sleep. So I was like, well, I guess I'll take the pregnancy test now. So I got up and took the test, and you know in the movies you have to wait 2 minutes to see the plus sign. Well, it came like that. It showed up really bold. So then I started shaking. Now I was already jittery, but I was like, oh my gosh. And I was so excited and so happy, and I wanted to tell people, but I couldn't tell anyone because it was 3 in the morning. And Rob was away on a business trip. So I was so excited, I couldn't sleep. So I got on the internet and I figured out my due date, which is June 27th, and I figured out that I was technically considered 5 weeks along, even though I was only pregnant for about 3 weeks. But you're considered pregnant from the first day of your last period. And so then I knew I was pregnant, and I didn't have that many other symptoms that first week. I knew that 5th to 6th week, except for unbelievable fatigue. It was like I went from feeling healthy and normal to just raising my arm was so hard. Climbing up the stairs made me incredibly winded. Even just lying in bed, my heart would pound. It was like my body was just working and working and working all the time. And I also couldn't wear my pants anymore. From that 5th week, I couldn't even wear my old pants, because even though I hadn't gotten any bigger yet, I couldn't stand any pressure on my lower abdomen at all. And then about a week later, I started to feel nauseous. And for the whole first trimester, I just threw up just about every day. Sometimes once a day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, but just about every day I threw up and felt terrible. And the nausea wasn't the worst part. The fatigue was really bad too. I've just felt terrible. I was like, this must be what it feels like to have cancer or a terminal illness, because it was really bad. And it tended to get worse as the day went on. So by 6 o'clock at night, I was just dying, and I felt like I was dying. And I'd be like, Rob, I'm dying. I feel like I'm gonna die tonight. And he'd be like, no, you're not gonna die. You're just pregnant. And so I'd lie in bed and I'd groan and just squirm around and just wait till morning, because I usually felt better in the morning. And I usually went to bed really early. I was as sick as if you have the flu, which doesn't sound that terrible, except it was 2 months straight. And you're expected to go to work at the same time. Normally when I feel as bad as I felt, I wouldn't go to work. I would just spend the day in bed and rest. But I couldn't, so I would drag myself up and go to work and suffer through it, and I threw up at work several times. Sometimes in the middle of class, I'd have to find a teacher to watch my students and leave class and throw up and then come back. But I learned through trial and error what I can and can't eat, and I had to cut out a lot of food, like all dairy food